that there's tension in Nigeria ahead of the 2023 presidential election is no more in doubt. The atmosphere is already charged with the slogan of a change that is quite different from the 2015 mantra by the All Progressives Congress, talking about political permutations and calculations as to which political party is likely to win or lose in the elections have become the pastime of many Nigerians, including the self-acclaimed prophets and marabouts. Now, the massive turnout of the youth population in the just concluded CVR, that's the continuous voter registration exercise across the country by INEC, is a clear indication of their readiness to take active part in the 2023 electoral process. We have in the studio with us convener of the Value Your Vote Niger, Mr. Oche Ede Precious. Good morning, Mr. Oche, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So, what is this about? Value Your Vote Niger.
Okay, Value Your Vote Niger is a campaign, or rather, let me even say, it's a movement. But it's actually an advocacy campaign that our organization has put together. Of course, we know that currently the stakes are high. And as young people, we've decided that we don't want to sit by and do nothing because we are all in the country, we are witnessing what is happening. The things that are happening is not palatable. It's not something that anyone is happy about.
Well, the voter registration exercise just was suspended on the 31st. That was after an extension of about 1 month. A lot of people came out to register within that period, but even after that, some persons are still complaining that the time was not enough. What is your take on that?
Well, I think to a large extent that has to do with the electoral umpire. We are a member of the INEC Consultative Forum, and so most times we're having a meeting with the INEC chairman, and the reasons given by the chairman was that they needed time to clean up the register because there are a lot of processes. They have to display this register for all the polling units. People need to see and be sure that their names are correct and all of that. So this would take some time to do. As much as, yes, for us, we wish that the time would still be extended. As a matter of fact, we had wanted a situation where the thing should run up till September, October, thereabout. But again, the law has given them the power to decide, organize and decide how the processes will go. So we are just at the place where we just couldn't do anything. We are hoping, the good thing is that, or the good news is that we have seen some good number of, some form of increase in terms of the voter registration. I think currently we've had close to about 10 million or thereabout that has joined the voter register now. And that is something to be happy about. So we're now looking forward to see the actual turnout in terms of the vote, and that's why we're doing Value Your Vote. So beyond just registering, because what we've been having over the years, we've been having this situation where we're having about 80 million or 70 million about voter registered, and then the actual turnout we get to have just about 30 or less than 30. So we've not had over 30 million voters in Nigeria in all our elections, and so that's worrisome. So if we have close to 90 million right now, even above 90 million, and we are able to even have 60% of that number turn out for election. I think that's a good one.
All right, so, so many youths have actually, expressed, willingness and preparedness, to come out for the electoral process, from the CVR exercise. They've actually come out en masse to, register. Do you actually think that, the youths would actually decide, who wins the next election?
We think so. We are in a different time altogether this period. The youth has just suddenly woken up. I don't want to use the word from slumber, but they have realized that things can no longer be business as usual. And so we can't possibly have close to about 60% of that voter register being within the demography of young people, and they don't decide or use their power to decide the next president. And that is why we are even doing what we're doing currently. We're going to be mobilizing. The Value Your Vote campaign is designed to educate and mobilize voters, particularly the youth. So the youth, I can assure you that the youth will decide the next president of this country.
In this mobilization and all of that to get people to come out, is vote buying an issue? Because in Osun, we saw that, in Ikiti we saw that, and those were elections that were held recently. Is that a major component of your advocacy?
It is. It is. From the name, you can say we are talking about value. So for anyone that values something, it's what you abuse something when you don't value it. So in this time, we're trying to tell the young people and everybody, all illiterate, that you need to value your vote. You don't have to. Somebody is buying your vote for just 5,000. Again, some of them don't understand the power of their vote, and that's why they're selling it. So we are going out with a message to make them understand, because we were not happy with what we saw in
Are you going to all nooks and crannies of the country?
Of course. We may not be able to cover because of the time frame. We're just looking at about 6 months about into the general election. But we intend, at least all the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, we intend to take the campaigns there. And we are working closely with media houses, so it becomes easier. We intend that we work very closely, even with your organization, to see how we can amplify this message. People need to value. We cannot, because what is happening concerning the issue of vote buying and vote selling is undermining our electoral integrity.
All right,
so we can't have it that way. Yes.
We have to actually wrap up here. Sorry, time is not on our side, but thank you so much for, joining us on the show today, even though it was brief. And Mr. Auche Ede Precious, thank you so much. Hope to have you, once again for an more extensive and elaborate, discussion on this.